Kalos, the 6th generation of Pokemon, the origin of one of the best Pokemon gimmicks, anime and region to some, and Pokemon X and Y are officially over 10 years old. Damn, I'm getting old. But one thing fans always wanted was to get the long-awaited Pokemon Z, to learn more about Zygarde and the depths of Southern Kalos. You know, the part right under Kalos but right above Paldea, that sweet spot that everyone thought was going to be DLC, but of course, that never came. Until today. What's up guys, I'm InfamousTrainer and today we're going to be looking at the real sequel of Pokemon XY with Pokemon UV. Now Pokemon UV is like a direct sequel that takes place in Southern Kalos, acting like its own region within Kalos but also an extension of it, as during this journey you'll meet brand new Pokemon, characters, and environments. Now of course this is only possible due to the very talented and artist Astray, and be sure to check out their Instagram with all their amazing art and other projects. Links of course are in the description down below. And now, without any more delay, let's check out Pokemon UV. Now this all takes place in Southern Kalos, of course previously being inaccessible due to the concerns of volcanic eruption. But now settled, the portions have opened up, which invites new cities, towns, forests, and more to explore. But of course, it all begins with you, the hero, playing as either one of the counterparts of Callum or Serena, or whatever you name your characters. And then it all becomes real when you meet Professor Sycamore and Professor Cassia. Cassia is the resident professor of Southern Kalos and has a deep interest in space and extraterrestrial Pokemon. Not to mention she has a unique rivalry with Sycamore, as they see themselves as counterparts. And speaking of rivals, you'll see the return of your XY rivals and friends of Tierno, Shauna, and Trevor. All of them getting some very much needed upgrades to their outfits and of course sporting new Mega Rings. But alongside these old characters you have new ones, like with Florence, a businesswoman and philanthropist known for helping companies all over Kalos, not to mention she is the older sister of the late Lysander. Now diving into any new region or even old one, it's all about the Pokemon, and here in Southern Kalos that remains the same, as we'll be giving choices of tons of new Pokemon alongside familiar ones that you can catch. In this story, upon meeting Florence, she will offer you, the Kalos champion, and your friends all rare Mega Stones, which finally allows you to Mega Evolve the Kalos starters of Chestnut, Delphox, and Greninja. Starting from the top, when you receive the Chestnut, you'll get Mega Chestnut, which looks incredible and really exaggerates the best parts of this Pokemon. Not to mention, it'll also get a boost in attack and defense with the drop in speed. Then Delphox fans, the very few of you, you'll receive a Delphoxite and you get Mega Delphox, which I think looks so much better, and the staff is a much needed design element. And with it gets a better special attack and special defense as well as a speed boost. Then lastly, of course, is Mega Greninja. By activating your Greninja-ite, you get the Mega form that I wanted so much in Pokemon XY. Now this Pokemon, besides looking ultimately awesome, gains a solid increase to attack, special attack, and speed, while also getting the ability Adaptability. So pretty much like a pseudo Battle Bonds Protean, it's really cool. Seeing these now really makes me wonder why Game Freak never gave us these Megas, but instead gave us Megas for Gen 3. Well, either way we have them now. Now let's take a look at the Pokedex and all the Pokemon you'll meet on your brand new Kalos adventure. Starting off with the regional bug and bird, with Nymphid and Titoon. Nymphid is a line that focuses in on the literal term of fruit fly, while Titoon, it actually has an evolution called Lyriquil, which is an amazing singer bird Pokemon. Then we get some familiar faces with God himself, the Pokemon Bidoof. Now Bidoof and Bibarel get brand new regional forms with the normal and steel typing, which I think looks really good. But it comes with something a little extra, as it comes with the evolution Bibaraj, also being normal and steel, and adds a little bit something to a familiar Pokemon. Now we do have new Pokemon like Mufon and Snoopot. And let me tell you, these evolutions are great. I really love the evolution from Mufon being Caprance, especially because it's a fairy and fighting type. This typing I want to see a lot more. But you have more options with Glameow and Purugly also becoming a regional form and representing with the normal and electric typing. Also, you remember Swirlix and Spritzee? It seems a lot of people didn't love those evolutions. So here are the brand new evolutions, which I think fits so much better. I love a sweet looking dog Pokemon, and this fits the bill. And of course you do have Flamingo, which was made before Flamigo, so keep that in mind as well. These Pokemon both look incredible, and they have some updated typings. That being Fairy and Ice for the pup, and of course Fairy and Flying for Flamingo. And oh, if you love Ponyta or Blitzel, then you're gonna love Vaponie and its evolution. This is for sure a team member for me. This Pokemon is absolutely clean, and it's actually a ghost type as well. But if we're speaking about ghost types, you'll also love the regional Meowth and Yamask. Two Pokemon known for getting regional forms and new evolutions, and I feel like it does really well here too. So if you love ghost Pokemon, pick up one of these two. Then heading over to the seas, you'll have access to Conchert. And this Pokemon has several forms that have a play on music. Honestly, they're all pretty unique, something I would imagine seeing in like The Little Mermaid. Not to mention even more regional forms with Lumineon, as it's now adopted the fighting typing alongside water. And these are Pokemon I would never expect to get regional forms. And to add to that, a Pokemon that is no longer a water type but now a dragon type is Milotic. And this brand new form is pretty top tier. I really like this design. But if we're speaking about the dragons, meet Pesquil. It's actually a poison type Pokemon that has a split evolution, turning into one of these two poison and dragon types. And I have to be honest, I'm a fan of Terrasquil. I think it looks really cool. But maybe you're looking for more variety, then you can also meet Tortervolt, a brand new electric and ground turtle Pokemon. Or what about Seal, a Pokemon that you would never imagine that gets a regional form. And also a new evolution, meet Manistee. The Pokemon has been brought into the newer age, and not to mention, they're psychic types. But let's go back really quick. What if you didn't get the regional bird? You do have another option with Galachik. And this Pokemon comes with some brand new evolutions that is going to be depending on its gender. Honestly, I like both, but I might stick with Lyriquil. Now of course, no region is set without a Pikachu clone, and this time it being an ice and electric type. And it's inspired by Jaboa and Scheme. It's a really cute Pokemon, I like it. Now Pokemon UV also shows love for Gen 5 with giving a regional form for Heatmore, which now becomes an ice and fire type. But I do wonder, do you guys remember Wishiwashi? Well, there is a brand new Pokemon here in Southern Kalos that actually has its own unique form. So meet Formicano, which has a solo form and also a colony form that'll all come together to make a really unique Pokemon. But maybe you do want something different. How about the Agile line, which dips into the ground typing and then ground and poison as well. But maybe that's not your favorite. What about Gligar, a Pokemon that I love from Gen 2, and I don't like Gen 2. But here in Pokemon UV, you get a slightly different one, as this one is based upon gargoyles, which is even more represented in its evolution of Gligoyle. And this right here looks sick. I need this thing on my team. I wish it was real, and it's a brand new rock and flying type. This now leads us into our new pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Meet Lycanroc, which evolves into Rogaru and then Devodon. And let me tell you, this gives me so many good vibes that I need it on the team. I can really appreciate that this is another pseudo-legendary that is not a dragon. And we need more of those. This one actually having the typing of Dark and Ice. Now usually after pseudo-legendaries you get legendary Pokemon, and as you continue the story you'll interact with these two items here. And these help bring forth the legendary Pokemon, well, sub-legendary Pokemon of Kalos, but more importantly the legendary Pokemon of UV being Umblanche and Vertibex. You see how they have the U and the V? It works, just like we know with Yveltal and Xerneas you got the X and the Y, it's perfect. And of course, when you have these hero-like Pokemon, you have the antagonist Pokemon as well, being Wall Surge. And for those who didn't catch on earlier, this Pokemon is an Ultra Beast with two forms. And this is pretty important as this Pokemon will bring forth the Wall Surge Invasion. But wait, you cannot forget about the brand new mythical Squirrel or Squirrel. I'm not sure 100% how to say this one. It's definitely a unique name, but it's a squirrel Pokemon. It's a squirrel mythical. It's pretty cool. Oh, and of course, Zygarde, as Zygarde plays a very center stage part when it comes to all the events in Pokemon UV. But wait, what's a Kalos region without New Mega Pokemon? So quickly, here is all the new Mega Pokemon for UV. First off, we have Mega Tauros. It is here to help represent Kanto and still remains a normal type, but does have the new ability, Rockhead. Next up is a fan favorite with Flygon. This here remains a ground and dragon type, but now gets the ability, Tinted Lens. Then there's Mismagius, or Mismagius, however you want to say it. It becomes more magical in its Mega while gaining the Psychic typing and actually has a good boost in its stats alongside the ability Magic Bounce. Then we got Gen 2 getting some love with Kingdra as it finally becomes Mega Kingdra. It stays a water and dragon type but gets the ability Mega Launcher. Then for Gen 5 we get Durant. Durant is getting a Mega with Mega Durant here. Not only does this Pokemon look cool, but it gets a boost in its stats and has the ability Arena Trap. And then there's Mega Togekiss, which becomes a lot stronger. I really appreciate that. Becomes even bulkier and has the ability Gale Wings. But next up is Mega Swalot. As it finally has its Mega and gets its Shine, it becomes all around bulkier and gets the ability Gooey. I mean, heck, even Talonflame gets a Mega. Now Mega Talonflame is a beast as it now has the ability Sheer Force, making it a threat. I don't know if these are at all competitively viable, but these sound insane in my opinion. Now next up is Milotic that not only got a regional form within this region, but it also gets 2 Mega forms. And one is going to be Mega Milotic based upon the original one, and is now a water and fairy type, and the other one being a dragon fairy type respectively. Either way, it sounds like you're winning, but I know water and fairy is a really good typing, and it's really cool that people get different ways to use Milotic in battle. Lastly is the Mega for the legendaries of Pokemon UV, and I think this amplifies them in the best way of stats and overall design. While both are great, my favorite for sure has to be Mega Umblanche. Though Vertibax looks just as majestic. I love both of these designs, but again, Umblanche, it's perfect to me. Again, it makes me wonder why we didn't get anything for, Yveltal or Xerneas, but, stats and things like that. I get it. And with that, that rounds out all the new Pokemon you'll meet on your new adventure. Now, with all those Pokemon being shown off and seen, I would have to say my new team is Mega Greninja, Lyriquil, Caprance, Maelstrom, Gligoyle, and Devodon. This team looks right up my alley, looks super clean. You guys have to let me know your team in the comments down below. Now quickly, let's talk about the story. As from here, the story is going to break out to you taking on the 8 different gym leaders of Southern Kalos. Some of these of course being new gym leaders and some also being very familiar, like Fantina and Juan, which is actually insane that they're here. Not to mention taking on the Kalos Elite Four with the exception of Malva. Of course, based off the previous events of Pokémon XY, she has now resigned and has been switched out with another familiar face of Emma. And of course, the champion is still Diantha, but hey, she's better than Geeta, so I'll take it. In between the gyms and Elite Four, you'll be progressing the story with the legendaries as you take on the Wild Surge invasion during the events that show more of Zygarde and how it's going to help protect the region. Something that a lot of us wanted to see in the very much deserved Pokemon Z, which I think works perfectly here because as you step into Alola in Generation 7, you're introduced into more about how the Ultra Beasts work, their story and their origins, so this is like a snippet of what you can really look forward to as you were to step into Gen 7. Plus, more Zygarde lore, that's just awesome to have. And with the legendaries and other Pokemon by your side, you will once again save Kalos from imminent destruction, making you the hero of this story of Pokemon UV. Well, there you have it. Pokemon UV is a new unique take on what we could see for the sequel of the Kalos games. And honestly, this is something I would enjoy. I mean, new Pokemon, new characters, familiar characters, and finally utilizing the legendaries that it has to offer. This was super fun to cover and to look at Kalos once again, but of course, it wouldn't have been possible without an artist astray, making a beautiful region once again. So don't forget to check out their art with the link in the description down below. And while you're down there, leave a comment and let me know what Pokemon has joined your brand new Pokemon UV team. Oh, and leave a like, let me know that you guys are enjoying the content. That all being said, I want to say thank you guys all for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!